Welcome back to Whispers of the Dead, where we uncover the darkest crimes of each year, one chilling story at a time. If you joined us in the last episode, you witnessed the cold terror that swept through Russia in 1990, the Butcher of Rostov, a tale of deception, brutality, and a man who hid his darkness behind an ordinary face. But in this episode, we travel west, to the quiet suburbs of Belgium, where a monster hid in plain sight for years, manipulating, capturing, and destroying lives, while the world looked away. This is the story of Marc Dutroux, the Monster of Belgium. It began in the early 1990s. Belgium was peaceful, modern, safe, or so it seemed. Hidden beneath that calm surface was a man whose crimes would shake the entire nation. Marc Dutroux, a former electrician, husband, and father, appeared to live an ordinary life. But behind the walls of his home in the small town of Marcinelle, he was constructing something sinister, a hidden dungeon beneath his house. At first, no one suspected him. He was known as odd, secretive, but harmless. Neighbors saw him fixing cars, walking his dogs, running errands with his wife. But inside his house, he was preparing for unthinkable crimes. It began with disappearances, young girls vanishing without a trace, posters hung on city walls, families begging for answers. Police shrugged. Weeks turned into months. Then a break, a stolen car linked to Dutroux. When police searched his home, what they found defied comprehension. Behind a hidden door in the basement, they discovered a small concrete cell, soundproofed, with a mattress, a bucket, and chains. 2 missing girls, alive, terrified, malnourished, were rescued that day. But their stories revealed something even more horrifying. They weren't the first, and they wouldn't be the last. As investigators dug deeper, they uncovered a web of complicity. Dutroux wasn't acting alone. His wife, Michelle Martin, and a small network of accomplices had helped him in his crimes, feeding the girls, covering his tracks, even aiding in abductions. And the most shocking part? Evidence suggested that police had missed him multiple times. Records later showed that Dutroux had been convicted of similar crimes years before, yet somehow he was released early. The nation erupted in outrage. Thousands took to the streets, holding white balloons and candles, a silent protest against corruption, incompetence, and evil. It became known as the White March, one of the largest demonstrations in Belgian history. Marc Dutroux's trial finally began in 2004. The courtroom was tense. Families of the victims wept as they faced the man who had stolen everything from them. He showed no remorse, no emotion, just the same cold stare that haunted the investigators who first caught him. The verdict was swift: life imprisonment. But for Belgium, the damage was already done. Trust in the system had shattered. The case exposed deep flaws in law enforcement and the justice system, scars that remain to this day. The house in Marcinelle was eventually demolished. Nothing remains but a memory of what once stood there, a silent reminder of how evil can thrive in the shadows of negligence. Marc Dutroux will spend the rest of his life behind bars. Yet, the ghosts of his victims still whisper through Belgium's quiet towns. This was Episode 6, The Monster of Belgium, a story of how one man's crimes reshaped a nation's conscience. If you found this story chilling, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video, because that's the best way to support Whispers of the Dead as we continue to uncover the top 10 true crime stories from every year. Join us in the next episode as we travel to the United Kingdom and step inside the twisted mind of the House of Horrors. Until then, stay curious and stay safe.